In this video, we're going to talk the 5 elements from the Eastern philosophy, and I'm going to help you get a glimpse into which may in fact be your dominant element. Sit tight. Welcome back to another video. My name is Jen Palco. Today we are going to look into the world of the 5 elements yet again, and I'm going to give you a nice introduction to them if you're not familiar with them. I've done a bunch of other videos on them. I will put all the links below so you can check those out. But today I'm going to give you a nice little intro. If you're curious about the 5 elements from the Eastern philosophies, Chinese, Taoism and all kinds of stuff. And if you're interested in things like your personality type, what is my element? What is my dominant personality? A lot of people are interested in that, right? So I'm going to give you basically 5 facts about the Eastern tradition philosophy behind these 5 elements: fire, earth, metal, water, wood. And the first fact is that people are usually a combination of one or more. We have all 5 within us, within our personalities. They show through manifestations of symptoms that come out, emotions that come out, just how we respond to the world. So we're usually like a combo platter of elements. We may not be one, even though some people may really have a dominant wood, for example. They're still going to have these other elements, but you will see, as I'm going to explain in this video, that you will have certain traits and features, body type, the way you look, that will fall under one of these more than others. Okay, so it's like you're strong, you're dominant, your primary element, your lens on the world. Number 2 fact about the 5 elements is that they are an extension of the yin-yang philosophy. Now, if you're not familiar with yin-yang, okay, it dates back to ancient Chinese medicine, Taoism, and it's basically the philosophy of you could say opposites or contradictions in the world, but yin and yang rely on one another. The 5 elements take it a step further, and they relate to the birth-death cycle in life. So we have here we have pre-birth, birth, okay, vitality, the height of yang in life, and then we're starting to come back into like older age where things are kind of letting go again into metal, eventually back into death. So this is, pre-birth and death, full cycle of life. So that's basically what the 5 elements represent. And it was interesting, or it is interesting, because in ancient philosophy, they didn't have cell phones and technology and all this stuff. So they were all about observation and observing how people respond or adapt in the world, in nature around them, and how we're all connected. And that goes into number 3. All of the elements are connected in the way that they all nourish one another, they all interact with one another, they all control one another. Now you'll notice that there's no air in these 5 elements, and that's not because I forgot air. It's just that in Eastern philosophy, we're not talking about Western or Hinduism or anything like that, astrology necessarily. Eastern medicine philosophy, 5-element theory, does not have an air, but you could look at it as wood is associated with wind, and wind falls under this category. So you could look at that as maybe the air that is missing in this, but they all interact with one another. Number 4, like I said, the elements our primary element is basically our lens or our tint on the world, how we adapt to the world around us, how we respond to stress. We're all very individual. Number 5, disease can manifest differently for each person depending on which element may be strong or out of balance. So it really depends because, Somebody may be prone to more respiratory illnesses, which could fall under metal. Somebody may be prone to more digestive issues, which may fall under earth. So everybody can have different manifestations of disease when they're stressed, or when something is completely out of balance within them. All right, so that's just a baseline of some fun facts about the elements. I've done a bunch of other videos, like I said. I'm going to put links to all those below. I've also done a video on each element type. So this is going to be just kind of like an intro baseline video to each of these, so you can kind of get a glimpse like, okay, I identify with some of the stuff of fire or earth or water, and I want to learn more, then click the links below and you can find more in-depth videos on each element personality type. So let's get into it. Let's start with wood. Okay, wood, looking at from an archetype, we'll consider it the warrior. So a wood personality is very driven, is built on competition and success usually. The emotion associated with wood is anger, so could be prone to frustration or anger, prone to possibility of headaches, migraines, tight neck, muscles and shoulders, tight tendons. As far as body frame, a wood person could be, usually think of like a tree. Tall, lanky, long limbs, tends to not have much body fat. They like being active. They like being outdoors. The external pathogenic factor of nature is wind, like I said, so could be prone to being sensitive to really windy days, and that makes them all tense and that kind of thing. So wood has this, is associated with the liver and the gallbladder of the body. So like I said, this person is very driven, can be very loud and outspoken. They like being a leader, natural born leaders. So that's kind of the wood personality. So if you identify with anything of your natural born leader, you like competition, you love debates, you love being active and doing sports, and you need to get your aggression out in some ways, then you may be strong in this one. Okay, fire. Fire, the archetype could be the lover or the heart protector. So the life theme for a fire person is all about the heart. It's about love. You may place a lot of focus on relationships or having relationships, like you always need a significant other or somebody in your life to fill that void that you feel if you don't have it, in your heart. Party goers love being sociable, being around people, can be a little flighty or scattered at times, but they're very fun, okay? A lot of energy behind fire, because fire is the most yang. It's the height, okay? The season associated with fire is summer, okay? So think of summer. They like warmth, they like the beach, love the color red, that kind of thing. So if you identify with any of these things, it could be fire. From the physical manifestation of disease standpoint, could be prone to heart circulation issues, insomnia, anxiety, panic attacks, anything that has to do with the heart. Okay, can feel ungrounded at times. So that's fire. Earth is the peacemaker or the mediator. So earth is a little slower paced. So if you find that you're slower paced, you like comfort in life more than style, and you want everybody to get along. You love animals and babies, and you're like the big cushy couch, okay? Your body frame is gonna be a little maybe larger, fleshy, bigger boned. Okay, earth has to do with the stomach and the spleen, so a lot to do with digestion. Okay, you could have blood sugar issues sometimes. You crave sweets sometimes. Late summer is the season associated with earth. You could be prone to symptoms when the weather's like really damp sometimes, or get like foggy headed and things like that. But earth in general is more grounded, this stable structure, slower paced. You're not going to be the fiery, bubbly person per se. You're not going to be the direct, aggressive wood energy. You're going to be more the caretaker, a natural caretaker. Okay, metal. Metal, the Alchemist. So metal's interesting. Metal is, think of like posh spice. Can seem aloof, but graceful, put together, kind of like pale, sometimes has straight hair, tall, thin frame, very graceful in life. Has to do with the lungs and large intestine, so could be prone to respiratory issues, asthma, allergies, all kinds of stuff. Anything to do with the large intestine or colon, letting go in life. But the life theme for metal can be about self-worth. Okay, has a lot to do with self-esteem, can be very spiritual at times. Okay, but again, doesn't make a lot of facial expressions a lot of time, metal person, as opposed to fire, who's like a Jim Carrey and, Robin Williams making a lot of facial expressions and, all over the place. Metal's going to be requires a little more time, can't be around tons of people all the time, need their space. Otherwise, they're going to be like, no, I'm setting my boundaries. Lungs, right? Boundaries. Okay? Same with water. The Philosopher. Water is the most yin. So it's stillness. Think of winter, underground. Winter is the season associated with water. The life theme is based around, I would say, knowledge, intellect, more meaning in life. If you're a strong water element, you're going to be a deep thinker. Okay, you're not going to be the party goer who's more like yang on the top, right? I want to party, I want to bubbly, I want to socialize. Water, you're going to be like, no, I want to be alone with my book and my cup of tea and comfortable. Can be prone to, water has to do with the kidneys, the urinary bladder, associated with the bones. So you could have osteoarthritis or any other kind of bone spinal issue. Low back pain is common for water people. They tend to have a larger frame in like the hip area because that's like where your kidneys sit. In general though, the water can be a little mysterious. Because water, if you think it's very deep underground, you really have to get to know them, whereas fire is going to be more on the surface. A fire person can be emotionally sensitive, and water, it's going to be hard to kind of tap into them unless you really get to know them. They like being alone, solitude a lot of times. They want their life to have meaning, and it has to do with the will and stuff like that. So anyway, if you think you identify with any of these elements, go check out some of my other videos for being, more in-depth information. This is just a very topical kind of way you can look at them and see it and say, okay, that sounds like me a little bit, or maybe I'm a combination of two and I want to kind of figure out more about myself. Like I said, the more you know which are your strong elements, the more you can help understand yourself and how you move throughout the world, why you respond the way you do to certain stressors in your life or certain people in your life, or why you always feel like you need to have relationship in your life, or feel the need to prove your self-worth, or find more meaning in your life, that sort of thing, or have everybody get along. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you. Leave me some comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this was helpful for you, or what you think your primary element or dominant element may be. Okay, and just help you move throughout this crazy world that we're in. Okay, so on that note, have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.